for it. Let us know what topic we're doing.
What's going on, guys? We're back. We're at it again. 2-minute warning, Fury. Week 13. We got an interesting topic to talk about. What's going on, Tim? What's going on, Shim? At it again. Warning, Fury. I know we also have Fogme on the call. What's going on, fellas? Got a couple of interesting topics to talk about. I'm going to get right back to Tim and Shim. So what's going on, fellas?
Not too much.
Good. Football. That's it. Football talk. A lot of football news. Playoffs on the line. Jim, I know you're looking at them draft picks and see what's up with the Giants.
Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how Josh and every Giants fan is feeling right now. You ready for this? Here's the train. It's coming. Choo choo.
No, you got it.
It's the Pink Slip Express. Next stop, New York City. All aboard. Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo. Woo!
You got to do it in Major Payne style. Two.
I hope Sharon's also watching. She's also happy. You know how she feels about McAdoo.
Wait, who is this?
Hey, listen.
Sharon.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sharon and I, they all hated him.
I mean, listen, it was time for a change, but we'll get into that. We're gonna get into some topics later. Gronkowski, Shim. Basically, Tre'Davious White caught an interception. He was down by contact by Brandon Cooks, the wide receiver, and Gronkowski came in late and went to the back of his head while he was on the ground. Does Gronk deserve more than one game for the hit on Tre'Davious White?
When you sit down and classify it as an individual case, yeah, you probably go, oh, man, that's got to be like 2, 3, maybe even 4 games. But to me, I mean, Tim, I looked back at this year. I looked back at another player who has a good history who just, I guess you could argue it was still in play. I know people have made their mention, but to me, a dirty hit is a dirty hit. And I relate back to the Danny Trevathan hit on Devontae Adams, to where he was basically throwing up gang signs on the turf after the hit. It was pretty chilling to see. But people are going to argue with me against that, saying, well, one's in the field of play, the other's kind of outside of it after the play's already done. But, I kind of bring up the scenario, well, okay, so if you want to bring up a thing about field of play, what if Aaron Rodgers throws the ball 5 seconds later out of nowhere, Anthony Barr just comes and cleans his clock, helmet to the underside of Aaron Rodgers' chin. It's in the field of play, I mean, right? So are we going to say, well, I mean, come on. A dirty hit is a dirty hit, regardless if it was right there after the play, if it was still in, a second after he was down, if he was 10 seconds laying on the ground and he came and did the people's elbow on him. A dirty hit is a dirty hit. But the NFL has been so inconsistent with its punishments correlating to the extremity of what they perform, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's DUIs, dirty penalties, plays after. So to me, I honestly, yes, I think he did deserve probably 2 games, but it's hard. It really is hard to argue when you try to justify it against the other banishments or penalties that have been handed down from the league. So a question that I want to ask you guys before, Fox gives his take too. Do you believe the NFL hands down the punishment to these players, knowing damn well that they're most likely going to appeal and most likely going to have it reduced based on their history?
Yeah, I think the NFL, Sim. Yeah, I think the NFL knows what the player is going to do, because the whole thing is. I mean, I know you asked this question. I was going to get into with my answer originally, but I really feel that the NFL knows. Hey, we're going to give him 2 games. He's going to appeal. We'll make it 1. But also, I feel that what they look at is, okay, if he loses this game, if he takes him out of this game, Is it going to hurt my TV rating? Is it going to hurt the team? Is it going to hurt the views? We all know what's been going on for the past couple of months with the protests going on for the whole year. The NFL right now lost in ratings. The Dallas Cowboys led the league in TV rating pretty much still, and it's dropped down this year. That's how bad is it? So the way I look at it is the NFL care more about TV ratings than actually the penalty towards the player. They're not trying to prove anything. All they showing is speech. Yeah, we will not tolerate, but you get 2 games. Wait, appeal it. 1 game. Who the Patriots play next week? They play Miami Dolphins. That's a bad team. Why? It's gonna set up that nice game the week after against the Steelers. So the NFL is full of it. I feel, Shim, in fact, I feel that Gronk should have got more. I feel, hey, if you want to show how disciplined you are, that how much you really feel, how much you really care about the player's safety the rest of the year, or 3 to 4 games. Why? The man was down by contact. Brandon Cooks. That's the one key thing that happens every week in football. When a guy's down, a tap in the ass, a tap in the shoulder. What did Gronk do? He got pissed off because the way he was being defended, he winded up, boom, right in the back of his head. Concussion. Look at the aftermath. Concussion.
Josh, to answer your question, yeah, I think they do have an idea on what the players are going to do. I mean, you kind of at this point would have to be asinine not to know that the players and the players union is going to fight and challenge every single punishment that's handed down by Roger Goodell. So yeah, they have to know, and I think it depends on the player. It depends on how they view the player. Is there a bias with the way they hand these things down? Yeah, absolutely, there is a bias, and it's evident. You look at the Crabtree and Talib situation. These guys, they handed down a 2-game suspension to both of them. Yet, what Gronk did was, I don't care if it was his first offense doing something like that, he could have really hurt this guy. I mean, you know, he could have really hurt Tre'Davious White, and that was just crazy. That people wanted to just, well, it's just his first time. Okay, fine. Listen, I could go out right now and kill somebody just because I'm mad at them. It was my first time killing them. I'm sorry. I should get a pass. No, you shouldn't get a pass. This should not have happened. That was grotesque. That was worse than anything Vontaze Burfict has ever done, and he got paid back by Juju Schuster. So realistically, he should be serving at least 2 games of suspension.
I mean, if I could just jump in real quick, I mean, here's the problem with the NFL. They're just never consistent. They don't have any kind of laws or repercussions, like a documented repercussion, you know what I'm saying, for the athlete. There's nothing really that's like a guideline when it comes to these actions. Or not even actions on the field, but actions off the field. And also with people like Kaepernick, they never played the political game with Kaepernick. They could at least came halfway, whether it's genuine or not. You take a lot of heat off of them. No, they fight Kaepernick tooth and nail. They fight these athletes who cross line tooth and nail instead of having a plan. The Goodell and the organization have no plan. All they care about is the figures. Goodell was really just hired to increase their profits. That's it. So all they care about is the money. They don't care about anything else. And because they don't care about anything else, it's catching up to them. Now they have to worry about penalties. Now they have to worry about domestic violence. Now they have to worry about protesting. And they're handling every other issue horribly because all they care about the money.
That's a fact, but that's all they've ever cared about. And again, I keep going back, Sean, to the situation with the NFL where they've never really encountered anything like this. This is something brand new. They've never seen anything like this before. They've never been challenged in this way before, and they've never they've never really had to figure out, okay, how should we do this? How should we do that? Because they were never questioned. I think that's the more important piece. They were never questioned. They did what they did. That was it. And there was no questioning. Hey, whatever punishment they felt, that's how it was. And that's how it's been for decades. All of a sudden now people are fighting, people are questioning, and shit has come out now that has made the NFL look extremely bad. And it's like, okay, now what do we do?
But that's no excuse not having a plan. You are
it's no excuse. And you would think these guys are all attorneys. These guys are intelligent guys. It's not like these are a bunch of dipshits that got a bachelor's degree in liberal arts. You know, these guys know their stuff. And the fact that they can't get this right is extremely alarming and yells arrogance and power.
It's not. Look at Hillary Clinton. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see, people thinking just being smart, you should be atop your game. You just hit on the nail. Arrogance, hubris. That's pretty much the problem. And their focus is on profit. That's it. They're arrogant and only on profit. The profit's still good, but now they're losing ratings. Now they're nervous. Now their profit is possibly, you know, is threatened right now. And now they're running around like a chicken without a head. And they're stupid because all they had to do is be ahead of the game. But their arrogance and their short-sightedness to the profit, and I'm not saying profit is bad, but you can't only focus on profit. If that's your only focus is just profit, you're going to lose the game. I'm sorry. What was that, Tim? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, I mean, my only problem is that every time when this hit came up, when this penalty came up with Gronkowski, people automatically ran and tried to pull the race card. And you know, listen, in my opinion, this shouldn't have been about race because I remember Shim put up a good point a couple of weeks ago. What happened at Green Bay with Chicago Bears with Danny Tre'Davious? That hit was gruesome. And what people fail to realize is before you jump to conclusions and make a statement, go backwards and compare. Really compare. We're talking about a man's arm is out. He's held. This guy came full force. 2-game suspension, appeal 1. Compared to Gronk, that was even worse. It's a black man. So we can't always jump to race, not go backwards and see what happened before. Because that was in my opinion, I believe that was the first hit of the season that came with a penalty. And that penalty went towards everybody else that had a similar, the similar type of hit.
Agreed on all sentiments. It's really hard to argue with what you guys said. I mean, when it comes down to it, you're right. NFL's greedy. They're inconsistent. And this is going to continue until the only shining light is maybe the next CBA in 2020. Who the hell knows? But for now, this is what we're going to get, a juggling act with these suspensions and fines. So it is what it is, you know. Even the Juju Smith hit last night, a lot can argue that was going to be shoulder, kind of. It was more on the clean side because it was in front, but that's a peel back block, man. That's been illegal for the longest time. You could argue that should be a game suspension, man. You know, others are going to say, hey, it's karma. You know, all of the 31 NFL teams are congratulating Juju, and you got Antonio Brown screaming karma in the locker room and all this. So, you know, it's all going to come down to bias, too. Everyone hates the Patriots. So initially everyone's going to say, ban him for the season, bro. That's ridiculous. I mean, come on, season. let's be a little more realistic. Yeah, a couple games, absolutely, yeah, but season. What's our next topic, Timmy? What are we getting into here tonight?
Man, this is your topic, man. This is your mic. Eli Manning, Shim. You started off. Where is Eli going next year? This is your topic, Shim.
What?
Let us know.
Where's Shim? Where?
Come on. You're the godfather of the Giants right here. This is tank off for Saquon.
This is a lot of pressure right now. This is
No pressure.
Ah, man. You know, they say time heals all wounds, but man, in this instance, does Eli really forgive this organization? This is a tough one because ultimately this is a guessing game. It's really going to come down to, I know Accorsi is being brought in to kind of scout the next GM being brought in. I hope it's Louis Riddick. And if it is Riddick, I know he's close to Josh McDaniels. So it might be a package deal if that's going to be what it boils down to. I don't know if Josh McDaniels is going to be big on Eli. I'm not sure, but I know he has a similar QB right now with a little pocket passer and Tom Brady, not much of a scrambler. Rocks run faster than both of those quarterbacks. But it will be very interesting. A part of me wants to say he's going because business-wise, I think the Giants are going to save close to $10 million, especially when we're not going to have to pay him that $5 million bonus at the start of the new NFL season, I believe. And that's going to be a thing. I think the new GM and head coach coming in, if we're doing a wash with the front office, why not kind of give a little sense of a wash with the offensive guru and the quarterback, aka the franchise coming in? So they're going to have their pick of the litter if they feel like one of these QBs in this 18 draft class is going to be the answer. If not, they may wait a year or two and keep Eli on the roster if he's also down and, to stay with Big Blue and get rid of that little grudge feeling he's got against McAdoo and how he was treated by the ownership. But again, that's going to be on Eli. Is he going to hold this grudge? I know he wants to play next year, and he already says he's going to. But again, business side, we might be better off, honestly, trading him. The money's there. That's a big sum. It's going to be tricky, Tim. It's going to be tricky.
I mean, if I got you jump in right now, Eli, I think he's loyal. He's a very loyal person. And I think if he has his way, he will stay with the Giants.
Okay, this now, the Giants did something. They fired McAdoo. They fired Mara right now is claiming that basically he had nothing to do with it the way McAdoo did it. He would have took care of it, nipped in the butt, yada yada yada. Eli will be a New York Giant next season, depending on who's the coach. Now, also, a couple of things, Shim. The new GM's going to have to come on here and agree you're keeping Odell Beckham Jr. How you feel about it? What's your thoughts? Odell is staying. As far as who the GM hires as a coach, I think another thing. It's like Mavericks trying to clean up the whole mess going on when Eli was benched the way he was benched, especially for Geno Smith too. So with that, I feel Eli's gonna stay unless he feels like he wants to leave. It all depends who the coach, who's gonna be the new head coach and stuff like that. If it's somebody like expect Spagnuolo was to become the head coach because the Giants played the last couple of games. Let's just say Giants feel there's nobody yet. We'll just wait. I can see Eli Manning staying there. They may just say, hey, Spags, you can be the coach next year. And when Eli Manning's last year of his contract, hire somebody brand new. Another thing, Shem, that defense. That's a Super Bowl. That's a playoff defense. You can't waste money on that type of defense for a young rookie quarterback where the defense is going to have to carry the team. You need some type of veteran. I don't see the Giants. If they cut Eli, that's a cap hit. So what they're gonna do? Sign another quarterback in the market, like Sam Bradford or Teddy Bridgewater? If one of them is available, I don't see that happening. I think Eli Manning will stay because of that defense. He's still the best. He's still the best player right now to help that Giants team hopefully win a championship. Injuries did play a big part of the problems this year.
I'm going to play John Mara for a minute.
I like it.
This is exactly how everything should go down. John Mara should be going to... I don't have those. I'm sorry. I'm not fully in the part. I just left the interview with him and Tish to get see if I could become the GM and bring the Giants back to relevance again. So we'll see how that goes. But here's exactly what should happen. John Mara should go right to Eli Manning and say, listen, you're done. The rest of the season, you're sitting. That's it. Point blank, period. We still feel we have a chance. He was on the Michael Kay show yesterday afternoon and specified and stated that. So if he believes that, if you believe that your team still has a chance to do something within the next 2 to 3 years, given that Eli could probably give you at least 2 average years, you have the defense there. Your defense has been hung out to dry and they quit on the coach. So you have that there. I'm going to him and I'm saying, hey, listen, you're sitting out the rest of the season. We're going to get a top 5 pick. Realistically, we're probably looking at Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, or Lamar Jackson. We are going to take one of those 3 quarterbacks if they're available to us. And after that, we're going to focus the remainder of the draft on the offensive line, linebacker, and running back positions. And we're going to do that through free agency as well. We have a young core of players, guys that are in their primes right now and can be leaders going forward in the next couple of years, that if we just put something in front of you to keep you upright, that can give these below average running backs that we have an average value, returning Odell Beckham at full health, seeing what Evan Ingram can do, and Sterling Shepard, we give our franchise a shot not only to be good and competitive for the next 2 to 3 seasons, but we get a top-flight quarterback that we could groom so we don't lose that competitiveness and fall off into a complete rebuilding stage. We were rebuilding while we were having success in the process.
I just want to add on, Fogmeg, do not mention Sam Darnold in the presence of Shim and James Cooper right now with the snap. Do not do that again. It is Saquon Shim. Please.
Fox, both you and Bleacher Report pissing me off today, all right?
I'm just trying to be a realist, man. You can't listen. Barkley is great. He's going to be an outstanding running back. But even that kid, Bryce Love from Stanford?
But Sam Darnold looks like a lethargic little younger brother of Greg Olsen. I can't. He just looks like a pudgy little failure. I will not bring him in. He looks like the little kid from the Christmas Story. All grown up. Sam Darnold is a dork.
Anybody who wants to jump in, number is 718-313-5155. Again, 718-313-5155.
He called Sam Darnold a dork.
Listen.
Sarita's gonna be pissed.
I agree, but I agree with now with Josh as if you keep Eli Manning, all right, he's the best thing right now for that team. A rookie is not going to come in and help y'all get them to the playoffs. Imagine the Giants, Barkley. Let's just say, okay, I'm pretty sure they're going to address their offensive line. The new GM will address their offensive line in the offseason. It won't be the best, but it'll be better than this season right now. So,
but here's my concern with that, Tim.
What's that?
You know that what's coming out in the next 2 or 3 years at the quarterback position. I mean, this is considered a very deep quarterback draft. What's coming out? You want to be able to prepare. You want to see teams make the mistakes. Organizations, and I don't understand this. These guys are supposed to be highly intelligent individuals. Organizations make this mistake that, well, we're going to go all out for this last hurrah. And you know the chances of making a Super Bowl are very, very slim. It's a one-and-done nature in the playoff process. And it's 16 games. One injury or 2 injuries can set your entire team back. Why is there no preparation for that transitional period by NFL teams?
But you know what, Fog? I got a quiz for you. Little statement here. Jacksonville Jaguars coach was Tom Coughlin, the expansion year. The number 1 overall draft pick was Tony Baselli, left tackle. Okay, they built around Baselli. It was oh my God, I forgot his name. The quarterback. He was traded from the Green Bay Packers. I apologize, forgot his name, but it'll come back to me. Drafted a left tackle was what they built on. Dallas Cowboys. You drafted Dak Prescott. They went on offensive line every year. The first one, Frederick was the second one. Zach Martin was the third one. Collins could have been a first-round pick, but he got in trouble. We got him to the rookie free agent. And Cooper was a regular guy on the market who was a former first-round pick for the Arizona Cardinals. See, what I just said right there is you can get yourself a quarterback in the draft and still develop. He might not have to be a top 5 pick, but he could definitely be somebody you see, you know what? Just like Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett was a 4th-round pick. Just look how he looks with the coach. Gotten better and better. So, you know what? People don't understand that Eli Manning is a very smart, intelligent quarterback who knows his X's and O's. I'm pretty sure if they see a guy in a draft that's pretty good, they like his upside, he'll be good behind Eli Manning. And we haven't seen Mr. Webb yet.
So why not get a Lamar Jackson, okay, let's say he's available, and groom him behind Eli the next 2 years while the team is still a competitive team in a similar fashion that Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers had Aaron Rodgers sitting in. Now, it's not like Aaron Rodgers was teaching him. Brett Favre was teaching Aaron Rodgers shit. He didn't even want him there. But Rodgers was intelligent enough to sit back, learn, work on his mechanics so that when they felt it was ready, the time was right, Rodgers took over. Why not? You have a similar situation. Why not be able to get a top-flight quarterback in the first round that can sit for the next 2 years behind a quarterback that can manage the game? And if you can keep him upright and put an offensive line in front of him that can allot him at least 3 to 4 seconds when he drops back, and that's a bare minimum. And you have Odell Beckham, who's there to leap up and catch all of his overthrows. With a big tight end like Evan Ingram, you can have an average running game with below-average running backs so long as you have an above-average offensive line. That's where the focus has to be on. And you could possibly have a potential top 15 quarterback again for the next decade and a half. Why not do that?
But Favre, what about Todd Gurley? He had no. Look at when you're picking top 5, you pick. Don't draft. Don't get knees. You got to get something that's gonna electrify and take your team. So Jim, preach. Tell him about your man.
No, I disagree with getting. I disagree with the best available. I always believe you go with what you need and the best available with what you need.
You know
unless that best available is something that you just can't let go.
I'm gonna take you down to memory lane, Fog, man. Fog, hold on. I'm gonna take you down to memory lane.
If you got a choice between a franchise quarterback and a franchise running back, What are you going to choose? Tim, I just asked you a question. What are you going to choose?
If ever takes a franchise quarterback and a franchise what? Running back?
Running back.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to get what's going to make me win now. Whatever's going to make me win now, that's what I want. If my man shit wants Saquon Barkley, damn it, it's Saquon Barkley.
Is that going to make them win now, though?
Fuck, man. You test five.
My argument is offensive line. I don't want to go offensive line right in the first round if it's pick 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever not. Right.
Got players like we're talking Jackson, Barkley. You got some really good skill position players at the quarterback and running back position that are going to be available in the top 10.
You know what the hell scares me about Lamar Jackson, though? Is him not learning to stay in the pocket, him trying to do that extra yard and becoming an RG3 in the NFL. That's what scares me.
Josh, he won't become an RG3 if he's sitting behind Eli for 2 years while he develops. Because coaching is the problem in Louisville. Talent and coaching, if you watch Louisville's games, talent and coaching, they are deficient in.
And what about attitude? What about attitude? What about attitude?
What about his attitude?
Listen,
what about his attitude, Sam?
I'm not trying to judge anybody, but here's the thing. When you want a quarterback, you want somebody who is a leader amongst men, not somebody you got to teach to be a man. Should be attacking another player like if you a thug. No disrespect. I'm just calling how I see it. The Giants got a top 3 draft pick. Why the hell they're going to get somebody they got to pamper? They got to groom? Oh, here, hold on. Hey, boy, hold on. It's for mine.
I don't know if this is Tim, I don't know if this is a real you or if this is a troll in you because you're a Cowboys fan and you say, fuck it, go ahead, get Saquon. You guys could suck for the next decade.
Hear me out. I'm not trolling. I'm keeping it real. Guys staying there, why get a backup quarterback? I understand what Shim just said. He just said, well, I don't want no offensive line. Big draft pick. You got to go with the best player. Listen, memory lane, 1998 at the NFL draft. I believe it was 98 when Paul Tagliabue was the commissioner. When he will go announce the pick and turn around. The Giants picked at number 16. This is Paul Tagliabue. The Giants are not on the clock. Before he even turned a full circle, the pick was in. Do we know who he picked in that pick, Shim? I mean, Fogman?
No.
Pettigrew. Offensive lineman. Did you know what happened? That man didn't have a good career. So that's, again, first rounds, you want to get it right. Top 5, damn, you're talking about Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham Jr., Elvin Ingram. I mean, that defense, the offensive line, well, you're not going to make the offensive line great overnight. There's a left tackle. Put Flowers in on the right tackle, everything will come to itself.
Tim, you're talking about management decisions. At the end of the day, you still gotta believe that the general manager and the head coach are all going to be on the same page. We clearly can see that Maris was not on the same page with Reese or McAdoo, and they weren't on the same page with each other or him either. So it's kind of tough to sit there and turn around. Okay, well, let's go all out for Barkley, and we're talking about a running back. We know the lifespan of running backs in the NFL, and we're going to go all out on this guy. And do we really believe he's the difference in what's going to make the Giants win now? Give Eli one last shot at a Super Bowl?
We did it for Zeke and Romo. Zeke was number 4, right?
I got a question. I got a question for you. Is Barkley on the level that Zeke is? Because I would argue he is.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
We're talking about a guy at Penn State who, on certain games, if it wasn't for big explosive runs that he got, he's not getting the yards that he's getting, and the numbers look a little bit skewed. I like Barkley. Don't get me wrong. But, again, when you get 14 carries for 35 yards in the first half, it's great that you had 2 touchdowns to go with it. But 14 carries for 35 yards against Rutgers.
Well, Fogg, why don't you do your homework tonight and see what Zeke and Elliott said about Saquon Barkley? I'm not going to say no more. See what he said about Barkley. I'm not going to say no more.
Are we really in win now mode at 2-10 going into next year?
I think so, shit. I think so. Listen, look.
I'm not so positive.
People think I'm trolling. I'm being serious. If you think that
when's the last time JPP had a sack?
Well, you know
when he had 4 fingers.
The last time he probably went against Eric Flowers in practice, and it was uploaded to his Snapchat because that's the only thing he's had to brag about this season. What's Olivier Vernon been doing this year?
You know what, Shem? It's like you said a while back, you and James Cooper. Y'all said it before. Everybody has gave up on McAdoo. Everybody.
I'm really hoping that's the issue, Tim. I really do. I really hope the defense gave up because if that's what we have to look forward to, we need a total wash. Not just the front.
Listen, I'm sorry.
I will tell you this, it's part they gave up. It is part that they gave up. Tim is 100% right on that. But it's also a part that we've had this discussion before. It takes a year for teams to catch up. Their game planning for the season is preset,
right,
and predetermined based on the previous season. So it's all about game planning. Teams were ready for the Giants this year.
Here's what I'm going to go with. Here's what I'm going to try to put in stone with the draft. If we are going to sit with Eli for another year or two and we decide, okay, he's in our plans for a couple more years, I would rather go Saquon because we need that weapon, and Saquon's going to be there for probably the next decade to pair up with Odell. If he's not in our plans, I would most likely I would like Baker Mayfield most likely over all the QB options out there. I have a crush on Baker Mayfield over Allen, Darnold, Rosen, all the ones out there currently. Who's the other one from Oklahoma?
Josh Allen?
Mason Rudolph, that guy too. Yeah, just all the quarterbacks out there, the prospects. Baker Mayfield just shows me the most moxie against the blitz. The way he's got this, history about being, a runner or a scrambler, but he really just extends the plays more so than he does become a ball carrier. I just think he's got a lot of poise to him, accuracy. I think you could rag on him about his deep ball. Maybe he's a hair late sometimes with his deep ball, which could cause him to underthrow some balls. But you know what I've seen lately out of college prospects is the scouts that say what their biggest weaknesses are usually what they come into excel in when they get to the league. So I don't know if it's something with these kids that they just work at the weakness that the scouts said they were weak at. But, these people are always doing it, like Odell, Juju, always highlighting their analysis saying, oh, I'm weak at this. Well, there you go. So, yeah, if Eli's in our plans, I would like a weapon back there, and it's desperately needed. We haven't had a decent tandem since probably the Jacobs-Bradshaw era, and that's been a good 10 years now. Shore up the O-line. Obviously, we can build up with the O-line, like Fox said when he was playing Marashoes. Look at the Vikings and what they did. Cleo went out at left tackle. They brought in free agent Riley Reif. Boone out left guard. He goes out. They bring in first-time starter Nick Easton. And then Berger is out at center. They bring in rookie Pat Elflein. Fuss goes out at right guard. They bring in Berger where he does the slide to the right. And then Smith is going to right tackle. They bring in free agent Mike Remmers. Comes in with a big contract, bigger expectations, and they're excelling. And they're looking like one of the top teams in the NFC right now. So it's really just a department of scouting and finding your beast in the trenches that have the proper technique and can excel in what you're looking for in either the run game or the pass game. And that's what we've been failing at, and horribly failed at with Reese at the GM position. He didn't do his job with showing up the line, especially when you had Reif out there, you had Andrew Whitworth out there. Despite their age, they're playing some of the best ball out there in the league. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm all for Saquon. If Eli's sticking around, it's really going to utilize the offense. You can see how backs they help their quarterbacks. I mean, you want to talk about franchise running backs? I mean, yeah, the lifespan average on them is 3 to 4 years, right? But you look back at players like Marshall Faulk, he helped. I'm very confident that he helped make Kurt Warner the quarterback that he was, especially Phillip Rivers when he had LT back there. I mean, amazing. And then you can see how Alex Smith's game is excelled when he's got his tandem of running backs always in Kansas City with Hunt now, and he had, you know, all the even how bad have Kansas City Chiefs quarterbacks been back in the day with Trent Green, but he's been damn above average because he had Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson back in the day. The running backs really do help upgrade the quarterback play. It really does, and I think Eli would desperately excel from that. And he needs all the help he can get in the backfield.
Shit, I want to also add on. You should have mentioned also Fogmeg's McNabb and Westbrook. His only weapon.
Yeah, Westbrook was animal. Absolutely, yeah.
Ultimate weapon.
Well, I mean, we beat this horse dead, but let's move on to the three-way race for the AFC West.
Ooh, goody. I hope our West fans are listening. Tag them. Tag them. Where them Chiefs fans at? Where them Raiders fans at? Bring them out. Bring them out.
Oh, shit. They're all 6-6. Everybody's tied for 6-6. Broncos who are 3-9 at the bottom. Shim, my division winner in the preseason, I had the LA Chargers. I'm sticking with the LA Chargers. Why? Also, football. Keenan Allen is having a great season. Okay, they have Eckler. Excuse me, pardon me if I said his name wrong. As the backup running back, the starting running back is great. You still got Antonio Gates when you want to utilize him in the end zone. You got Hunter Henry. That defense between Bosa and Melvin Ingram. My God, the Chargers right now, they rolling. The Chiefs right now, they're falling apart. Everybody's stopping the run.
Andy Reid.
Yeah, he called it with Andy Reid nonsense, and you know the way he game with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt hasn't got 100 yards since they bye week. Is on top of that, Kelsey and Tyreek Hill are the weapons, and it's forcing Alex Smith to throw the ball more. And I want to say, I'm hopping on the train which the Shim's riding with last week when we spoke about benching Alex Smith for Patrick Mahomes. I'm going with Shim's way and say, you know what? That's a good idea. The way he performed last week against the New York Jets, you had a nice couple of bombs, but that's not going to help you going further all the time. You can't have games like that. The Raiders. I mean, Amari Cooper, he was suspended. He was hurt, concussion issue, and now they're saying it's still an issue. Crabtree was suspended. But the Raiders are not doing much, Jim. And Fogg, they're not doing anything. They're not the same team they was last year in the playoffs before Derek Carr got hurt. So I'm going with the Chargers. This is their division.
Fun fact about the Chiefs is they were the first team since 2001 to have 6 plays of 30-plus yards and still lose the game. So, good job, New York Jets. Proud of you. Let's talk about this division for a second. Let me start with the Raiders. Good thing they drafted Carl Joseph because Reggie Nelson has been playing like basura this season. Nicholas Moreau, undrafted out of Greenville, hasn't been too great, while Bowman and Mack are carrying that load in the linebacker court. The line is playing much better despite Gabe Jackson playing down some compared to 15 and 16, but I blame that playing next to Marshall Newhouse. He's abysmal. So, that's never going to go over well. Seth Roberts is terrible. Cordell Patterson is nothing more than a special teamer. And we'll have to see if Amari Cooper is going to stop dropping shit when he gets back in the lineup, and if Crabtree can stop making it about himself and his chains more and then more about the team. And then when you look at the Raiders' schedule, at the Chiefs, that's a toss-up. 2 crap teams. Versus the Cowboys, honestly, Tim, I think your Cowboys can win that one. At the Eagles, sorry, Raiders. And then at the Chargers, wow, 3 road games. You're out of it. Let's move on to the Chiefs, fellas. Darrelle Revis is back, and he's god-awful. Wow. How many times did he get burned and tried to do one-arm tackles? Ooh, wait. Revis Island is back in Kansas City. What a pairing to go with Steve Nelson, who's been trash. Have fun carrying that secondary, Marcus Peters, because you're the only damn quarterback that's worth the breath. Frank Zombo, worst defensive end I've ever freaking seen him. How has this guy been in the league this long? If you look at his PFF grade since like 2011, he's been ranked like 40 something. He's awful. He's like in the 70s or 80s in terms of defensive ends. Worst defensive end I've ever seen. I don't know how he's had a job for this long. Remember Chris Jones, though? We talked about him 2 years ago in the NFL Fury draft party out of Mississippi State. That boy's nice. He's coming along nicely. That's a big boy right there. I mean, along with Chris Jones, Justin Houston, Derek Johnson, Marcus Peters, those are the only 4 viable people on the whole defensive unit out of 11 starters. Daniel Sorensen, Ron Parker, Kenneth Acker. Safety's my ass. Let's move on to the Chargers, though. Safeties, Trey Boston, Jaleel Addae really stepped up these past 2 seasons compared to 14 and 15. Best trio of cornerbacks currently in the NFL with Desmond King, Casey Hayward, and Trevor Williams. Keenan Allen is having the best year since 2013. Rivers is playing great. Hunter Henry is filling in Gates' void with no interruption. Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram are the best end tandems in the game right now. I mean, come on. Chargers are winning this. They're coming back from the dead in the AFC West. They are taking this division. I actually have the Chargers winning the next 4 games versus the Redskins, at Chiefs, at the Jets, and at home to the Raiders. The Chargers will finish 10-6.
Get the 5 stick, you're on fire right now.
Chargers will finish 10-6.
Cool
Sorry,
down.
Raider Nation.
I detect no lies in anything Josh said. Facts are the facts, man. Chargers got this. They got a top 10 defense. They're top 5 in points allowed. You look at what they've done, and you look at what Phillip Rivers is doing with what he has around him. The season that Keenan Allen is having, what Melvin Ingram is having a spectacular season. They've got it all clicking. And then you look at the Raiders. The Raiders are a bottom 3rd on defense. They can't stop shit. They couldn't clog up a toilet. That's the bottom line. The Raiders' defense sucks. Their offense is inconsistent. They thought that Marshawn Lynch was going to be the answer. Yeah, congratulations. An 11-year guy. Most running backs, even Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, guys going into their 11th years, experience a decline. And we're talking about Marshawn Lynch, who's not anywhere near the level of those players. And you expected him after a 1.5 year layoff to not have a decline? Are you shitting me? Go to Kansas City. Hey, guys, you know my feeling on Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is who he is. It's my fear that I had with the Eagles going into the season because Peterson is a branch off the Andy Reid coaching tree. There's no intensity. It seems like there's no intelligence at times because there's no adapting to anything that's going on in the game. And when you look at how they're using Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill, you know what, Josh? You made a big statement, big plays. And this was the first time last week, the first time against the Jets that they had multiple big plays in a game since week 5 when they went 5-0. They haven't been using the running game effectively. Play calling has been trash. It's continued. And not for nothing, as much as we bang on Alex Smith was actually the reason the Chiefs' offense looked as good as it did because their play calling was complete shit. So Alex Smith and Tyreek Hill, they made it happen. Now, like I said, let's look at the Chargers again. Defense, top 5, top 10 in every major statistical category, from rushing yards, passing yards, touchdowns allowed in both passing and rushing, points allowed. Their offense is a top 10 offense. And they've gotten better, progressively better through the year. Yeah, Chargers should win out and win this division. Easy.
Oh, we got Tommy on the line. What's going on, Tommy? Say it with your chest.
Oh man, I'm just sitting here listening.
Did we lose him?
Sean, I think you muted yourself so we can't hear him.
Yeah, we can't hear him.
Tommy, you got to start over, brother.
Sorry about that, Tommy. Start over.
Tom, start that rant over. Let's hear it.
Give it to me, Tommy. Let's hear it.
Start over, Mike.
Bring that Pride Rules energy with it.
Like I said, Josh Chimkus sounds like a begrudged, beaten down Giants fan, like the Philadelphia Eagles and Cowboys fans usually sound at this end of the season. The fucking Chargers? Are you kidding me? Phillip Rivers folds like origami when the pressure comes down on him. Are you kidding me? Please. This is just a fluke. This is just a fluke, what is going on with the Chargers right now. The fluke.
What's going on with your team? Because in my world, shit recognizes shit, and we're pretty shitty, so.
Let me tell you something. You guys are lucky you didn't start Eli Manning, because the way Khalil Mack and Irvin were in the backfield when Geno Smith was there, because he could actually get out of the pocket, Eli might have gotten raped on Sunday.
0 scores and 2 turnovers in the first half with Geno Smith, and we were still in the game. Come on, Tommy. With no receivers, Tavares King, Roger Lewis from Bowling Green, Paul Perkins.
I don't care. You could have had Odell out there, and you guys still would have had the game that you had and the season that you had, because your offensive line is god awful.
Well, actually, that's one of those games where Odell catches a slot catch for like 5 yards and brings it 95 with like 3 minutes remaining, and we end up winning one of those in garbage time.
But Tommy, that's my exact point. The Raiders' defense is god awful, man. They're dumpster juice.
Tommy, you brought in Navarro Bowman, who's actually better than all your players right now, and he has to come to the stadium 72 hours before just to warm up for a game. He has to be there Friday night for a Sunday 1 p.m. game. Like, he's there for 24 hours doing a Wii Fit, doing some yoga.
Hey, though. Got something against veteran guys? What the hell?
I'm allergic to bad defense, and all I see from the Raiders right now is bad defense. And
Didn't you have to sit
wins championships.
I've heard a guy whose team has only beaten 2 teams with a winning record, the fucking Carolina Panthers.
Come on. This just got real.
You know what, Tommy? We beat down the teams we're supposed to beat down. You know, the Dallas Cowboys by 28 points, the trash Cowboys that they are. We beat down garbage teams. You guys barely got by the Giants. You guys left with skid marks in your pants because you almost wound up shitting yourselves.
Wait, Fogman, why are you mentioning the Cowboys? I was quiet. I ain't say I was. See, Shem.
Tim, we're talking to Tommy right now.
Tim, can I ask you a question?
We're talking
Savages.
Tim,
What's so angry of late? Gee.
Tim, why? Do you know what Fogman and Tommy got in common, Shem? You know what they got in common? That their teams carry fake stuff to look like champions. They paper champions. For instance, the John Madden football game makes the Raiders look good just because Madden was the coach. The Rocky statue is fiction, and that makes Philadelphia look good. Both of y'all should not be commenting about the Cowboys and Giants. We got championship. Look. Y'all don't got no championships at all.
No, what you just did, Tim. The Cowboys have good ribs. Dallas has good ribs down there. That's really good.
You won't get up to go back with the Cowboys and Giants, but Tommy, here's the thing, Tom. All love to you. The Raiders right now, and don't get me wrong, you know, I was one who picked them to be in the championship. Why? Because I thought that when Derek Carr went down last year, I thought that was the Raiders' year. I thought y'all would have beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. I really did.
That was the year.
But now
that was the year.
It was definitely the year. Carr comes back. You got Beast Mode, everybody was going beast mode, beast mode, beast mode. You know, Skittles, 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 and it didn't work. I give you that last week. Y'all won against the Giants, but no Cooper. It could have been even worse if you had Cooper and Crabtree. It would have been even worse, probably. But the thing is, the game y'all was last year. Now, the Chargers are hot. I mean, you got to know how to cool that off. And it's going to be hard for the Raiders to do because
history proves Phillip Rivers crumbles when it matters. Just like Tony Romo crumbles when it matters.
And history proves if you make it to the playoffs, the NFL is just going to make a rule against you guys and call it the opposing quarterback's rule.
They don't have that same defense.
That's true too.
I'm sorry. Listen. The Raiders schedule. Look at the Raiders schedule right now coming up.
Yep, we do. It's at the Chiefs versus Cowboys.
I mean,
they've won already.
Okay. All right, now, but
that's even better.
Was Sean Lee coming back? I don't know about that, brother.
Listen, the Raiders, realistically, the Raiders could win 3 out of the next 4 games. That is a realistic possibility. Dallas sucks and is garbage. Kansas City is spiraling completely out of control. And Philadelphia will have probably locked up the division by the time the Raiders play them. So it is very possible.
First of all, and I'm going to tell you this right now. The Eagles are gonna lock the division up playing the Raiders. You know why? I know we have the Shim and Tim pick them this week, but I'm gonna give you a little prediction. The Philadelphia Eagles got 3 road games. One was a loss against the Seattle Seahawks already, a bad one. Now you're going to the Rams. As I said, now they're playing against competitive teams with winning records. So you lost to Seattle.
Yeah, but we're talking about the Raiders right now. Don't disrespect Tommy like that. He called in.
Fogman, may I finish, please? I just want to finish, Fogman. That's all. I want to finish. So, lost to the Raiders. Excuse me. You lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Now you're going to LA to the Rams. That's going to be another loss. Giants. But you
want to bet a song on that one, Tim?
But here's the key thing.
Would you like to bet a song on that one, Tim?
Here's the key. Here's the key.
I'll have you singing "It's Raining Men" next time.
but it's a nice song. It's not for me. But here's the thing. No, here's the thing, Fogman. That game you may win. But the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the next 2. So mathematically, you won't clinch yet. You're going to clinch against the Raiders on your second to last game. That's what's going to happen. The Raiders right now, you're going to the Chiefs. Yes, the Raiders won. Yes, they did. But you know what? The Chiefs are pretty good at home. I'll say I'll predict that Thursday. But
the Chiefs are only pretty good in practice at this point.
Hold on. Then the Dallas Cowboys, it all depends. The Giants, if the Cowboys right now, if the other teams right now are dropping like flies these games, like Detroit Lions, the Carolina Panthers, the Falcons, if they're dropping their game and the Cowboys see green light, then all we got to do is win and beat this team to be 1 game behind until Zeke comes back. I guarantee you that game's going to be different. AFC West teams so great against NFC East teams. 60-minute football. 60-minute football. A lot of hitting, a lot of grinding. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be – I'm not saying the Raiders are going to lose every game, but listen. But I'm not going to say the Dallas Cowboys and then the Falcons are going to be easy games to win.
All right, guys. I think we got to move on to the next subject. Tommy, thank you for calling in again, brother.
Hey, Tommy, I just wanted to show you. I made a little something special for you while you were on the show if you want to view the actual video when you get off the phone. But this is how the Raiders are playing with patches over both eyes. So hopefully, hopefully you can get that other patch off soon, brother.
Bye, Tommy.
Still beat girls.
All right, so I guess we're moving on to Tom Brady's.
Tommy's the best. I tell you.
Tommy's a savage. That was PG, PG-13 that we got. Tommy, if you watch Five Rules podcast, let me tell you something.
Yeah, Tommy toned it down for us. Thank you for all the Door Explorer watchers out there, Tommy. They appreciate it.
Oh my God. Oh. Last one, gentlemen. Does Brady get a pass over the sideline altercation plays? My answer is yes.
Are you suggesting that there's white privilege, Tim?
No, I won't say. I won't say. I will not bring the race car into this one because that again, Tom Brady is the golden boy of the NFL. Listen, I for one have been on the sideline. I for one has yelled, screamed. Am I mad what Tom Brady did? No, I'm not mad because that happens in a lot of places. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, went into Tom Gable's face, and it took Russell Wilson to get in between them. The coach said everybody's all right, but it was the players had to separate Russell Wilson, who was black, and Tom Cable. Go crazy on that. And what did Doug Baldwin did? He went to the podium and apologized, hugged his coach. You know, games, it gets out of line. I recall Des Bryant. Players went around. Listen, here's my thing. If you care about what's going on with the game, I want players to get angry and feel when they're losing, when things are not going right. I like those type of plays. You know why? You give a fuck. So, one of these players, oh, well, it's okay, coach. We'll work it out next time. It's all right. I'm going to go shopping later. Yeah, I'll pick up the honey. I don't want players like that. I want players who care about the game. I just feel pissed off that the media blows it up. Brady. That's the point. The NFL is not in it. They're not putting out fines. It is what it is on the sideline. It's the media. They pick and choose. Why? If Tom Brady blow up on the sideline, is he going to create anything? No. I recall Des Bryant on the sideline. He was hyping his team up. That Sunday evening, the trash Des Bryant. Once they got audio, they apologized to Des Bryant and said, "Oh, he's up and down," but he was. Look at Lawrence Taylor. Disrespected Bill Parcells. Bill Sims disrespected Bill Parcells on the sideline. That's football. We see all the time. McNabb got it on the sideline. It's football. It's really the media and how we look at the game, how the trolls, want to pinpoint X, Y, and Z. So, with this, I'm not mad what Tom Brady did. It's the media who blows it out of proportion.
I almost feel like it's it comes down to how often you're a storyline or like a media figure, especially off the field or even in press conferences or anything like that. You know, you look at someone like Odell, Dez, they have all these issues where they're in the media, whether it be just they're clubbing, they're out with friends or with a celebrity, they're doing this, they're hanging out on Instagram, it's just story upon story that you get to feed off. So when they do something on the sideline, especially on Sunday, it's a bigger story to talk about because of all the people that those main weekday stories reach out to on Twitter, the mainstream news, MSN, wherever it may be, CNN, however people get that outlet. It's just you're seeing those people more. So those bigger headlines are just going to be those players. Now you look at somebody like Tom Brady, he's never in the damn papers for anything or even on the internet for anything. The only time you ever see Tom Brady tabloided or TMZ'd or anything like that is when he's with his wife and he's wearing Uggs somehow. That one picture that leaks from like December of 2013. Other than that, what does he do? You know, you really don't have anything of Tom Brady outside of playing football. And so when he has a blow up on the sideline, it's, oh, you know, he's a great player and he's, you know, that happens, altercations then. So, yeah, I think he does get a bigger pass. And I think if we were going to go back in history and imagine somebody else, like let's bring up like a Jerry Rice, for instance. Never off the field issues, never talked about in the tabloids really ever, unless it was for an accolade, something positive, an award. So if Jerry Rice, you know, back then in the early 90s was to have a blow up with his wide receivers coach or maybe even head coach, yeah, it would be talked about like, you know, Tom Brady for the day or so, but then it would die down. It would be talked about for 6 hours. Then it would just die down into the rest of the media world of dead tabloids and issues. But, you know, somebody like Odell or Dez, or if they do something, it's talked about for 5 days full on ESPN's wavelengths, and on Twitter, their story's still erupting because that's just how it is. You know, that's how the media is driven, from those bigger names, bigger clicks, who's been talked about more on internet sites and on message boards. So people like Tom Brady, you know, those people that are lay low more so on non-game days, they're not going to be really held to a higher standard or exploited much as they would in the media. So I think it comes down to how quiet are you off the field? You know, do you maintain just a composure? And sometimes it does come down to accolades and accomplishments as well, Tim.
See, man, I want to agree with you, Josh. I really do, 100%, because it is partly what you're saying is not false. If you lay low, you're going to be avoided. But Tom Brady is a big name. Tom Brady is somebody that is hated by many. So an opportunity to exploit him, to make big news about it, you would think people jump at the chance to do that. And I just think it gets brushed aside because of the fact that he doesn't have anything else going on around him, because he's relatively quiet. Whereas these other players, Des Bryant, for example, he had stories behind him. He had off the field incidents already. So once there's something tagged and labeled on you,
right,
that is unfortunately going to follow you for the rest of your career, especially if in this day and age of social media. So he's going to have to bear that burden, unfortunately. Des Bryant is. Whereas Tom Brady, he doesn't have to do. It's almost like he does get a pass. It's almost like, well, you know, it's whatever. It's kind of like how people were treating the Gronkowski hit. Oh, he's never really done anything like this before. So there's a pass there because there's not a pass there, and I think that's a big issue.
Okay, but
sorry to cut you off, Tim, but we got Hobbs on the line. What's going on, Hobbs?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
What's up, man?
Comment on the game yesterday, because you guys are talking about it real quickly, but the Gronkowski hit, that was pure trash, man. That was fucking awful, man. That there's no pass on that. He meditated and everything, but you know, that 1 game suspension, I guess punishment is the crime. The precedent is already set. But the Tom Brady thing, Al Bison against the Bills, he gets a pass, in my opinion, 100%. Like, you know, if you put on those pads, you know the passion comes out, you know, in the heat of the moment, and that's football right there. That's nothing. He didn't do anything, you know, him against the coach. To me, it's not a big deal. Not saying no matter who it is, you know, many people do get a pass. Some people shouldn't, you know, whatever. Kind of agree with Josh when, you know, off the field composure is good. You know, he didn't do nothing off the field. Good guy and all that. You know, on the field, heat of the moment, whatever. It happens. But you know, the reason I called, I got 2 questions for y'all, man. The first is, do you think 9 and 7 will get, you know, into the playoffs in the AFC? And the second one is, true. If that's true, then the Bills got the next 4 games against the Colts, 2 against the Dolphins, and 1 against the Patriots. If 9 and 7 can get you in, I think we can win 3 out of the next 4 games. And if, you know, Patriots are way ahead of the curve, they might even rest their players week 15. Who knows? I doubt it. I mean, week 16, but I doubt it. So, yeah, that's the question, man. Do you guys think 9 and 7 will get into playoffs? And if so, do you think the Bills, with the next 4 games, can actually get in?
Hobbs, I'm going to be real honest with you, man. I know I said you're a glass half full guy, and I enjoy your enthusiasm about the Bills, and I've been knocking the Bills the last month or so. But you're 100% right. They really stand a shot at making the playoffs. When you look at who they've got in front of them, where it's not like we're talking juggernaut teams. We're talking they're competing against the Raiders, Chiefs, and Chargers, and we believe only one team is going to make it there. They're competing against the Ravens, and I'm not sold on the Ravens. I think that's an overrated team completely. And so if, let's say, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, the winner of the AFC West and the winner of the AFC East, they stay a course, then unfortunately Buffalo's going to suffer. They've got to catch either Tennessee or Jacksonville in order to get in. But that is not a far-fetched possibility sitting at 6-6 with 4 games left. We've seen teams have collapses before, and we're not exactly enamored with Tennessee or Jacksonville and saying, yeah, these guys, I buy in all day. There are major flaws on both of those teams, and they've played a relatively easy schedule considering.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be hard for the Buffalo Bills. 9-7 can't make them. They're getting a key thing. Tyrod Taylor. Day with his knee issue. And that is going to take away his best thing, what he loves to do, get out of pocket and extend the plays. 100% healthy. You got to look at what does he really have out there besides LaShawn McCoy. Guys like Zay Jones has pretty good games the last couple. He's growing, but this is now you're gonna have playoff type games to get into the playoffs. So he got to grow up fast. Kelvin Benjamin, Clay. I mean that tight end position that's an upgrade needed. So it's not, and that offensive line hasn't been blocking that good. So Rod Taylor scramble ability with that knee issue. It's going to be hard for the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion. If he's fine,
maybe we got a shot. What about you, Josh?
To me, yeah, it's going to be tough because as bad as Indy's been, they've actually been playing a little bit better towards the second half of the season, and that's going to be a good matchup between you two. I think you can easily take both games against the Dolphins. I think they're checked out this year, and I think that that defense is very easy to score on, and I don't think Tyrod and Gang will have too many issues trying to find some opportunities on that defense and secondary. And then the Patriots one's going to be tough. So, you know, I could see you guys going 3-1, but somewhere in my gut it says 2-2 for some reason. I just see the Bills going 8-8, and like Foggs reiterated, it's going to be a little tough because you already have the Ravens. I see the Ravens winning at least 2 more games and finishing 9-7 at least, and then you have to battle it out between the Titans and Jags, who I believe are going to get at least 10 wins apiece. So it's going to be very tough, and I think your biggest competition is going to come really against the Ravens, trying to stay toe-to-toe with them in the North. But if you can win against the Colts this Sunday, then it's going to be very, very, very telling. I think the confidence might get there with the team. So if that Colts win, I think you guys have a very good chance of going 9-7.
Well, I'll take it, man. I'll take the 9-7, man. I mean, it's only been once in the last 16 years we've been, we had a winning record. This could be twice, but
future's bright. Like we said with those draft picks, man. Stay patient, stay calm. You got a killer-ass draft pick coming up this year. I think you got 2 first-rounders. You got a couple fourths to play around with. So if your coach, McDermott, really loves somebody in this draft, you got all the firepower to move up to take whoever you want, man.
I think I'm kind of already looking towards next season. This season is kind of becoming a wash. Tyrod, with that knee, like Tim said, man, if you don't have that, then it's going to really be hard for him to really, play his game. And Peterman, he showed a little bit. You know, he showed some flashes. He came in the fourth quarter. He showed some flashes. You know, quick, decisive. You know, I liked him, but I don't think he's the one. And Tyrod is most likely out of Buffalo. So, yeah, it's kind of look towards the future. You know, it's like the first time in a very long time where I'm, you know, I don't know about the glass half full, man. I don't know if I'm gonna.
Yeah, Hobbs.
After man, it was kind of like just, oh shit, man, I better drink this water or something because it's
But you know what, Hobbs?
Turn that water to vodka.
Thank you guys, yo. I appreciate it.
The Bills are like the Boston Celtics. They putting all the pieces together. You know why? Preparing for LeBron James to leave or go to the other side. Are preparing when Brady leaves.
Hey, Hobbs, I have something to tell you. Just like Journey, believing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that for real, man. Sean, I appreciate that. It's honestly, man, it gets hard sometimes at the end of the season. It's like, shit, man, you're emotionally invested. You guys know, man, it's fucking sports, man, especially football. You're just emotionally invested in this fucking thing. And sometimes it's like, oh, man, like 3 fucking points? But anyway, enough of venting.
But you know what? Feel good, Hobbs. Feel good. You know why you feel good? Because, not Fernando, with dedicated fans who stay with their teams. 1 year they can be great. 1 year for next 4 years they can be so horrible, but you stay with that team. You know, you have a lot of fans out here who jump from team to team to team. I can't stand that. You know what? If anybody from 2MW ever called this line and you got 5 teams, guess what? We're gonna hang up on you. I'm gonna tell you, I don't want to speak to you.
Damn, Tim.
I appreciate it. I'm saying, like, if you're a progressive team, though, like, if you're progressing, it's good. Like, it feels like after, like, a week ago, it feels like we took, like, 5 steps backwards. You know, you would never want to see that. Like, a team takes 5 steps, you know, like benching Tyrod, doing shit like that, and then now Tyrod being hurt. The draft picks next year can really, you know, like, guys have really elevate us, you know, into the future, but it really felt like, you know, we took a couple of steps back. You know, in these last couple of weeks, we were really progressing. At 5-2, it was like, oh shit, okay, cool, we're really balling, and it really feels like we've taken major steps back, not minor, but major steps back, in doing some of the things we've done. And you know, it seems like the stuff we did in the summer, letting the key players go, is kind of coming back to haunt us. And I don't know if it's, you know, I'm just gonna be patient, play it out, and let's see what happens. This, you know, like next 4 games, let's see what happens.
Unfortunately, Hobbs, in the NFL, it's one of the few sports that you see this. If you are not progressing, you're regressing. It doesn't matter if you stay stagnant or not, you're regressing because you're supposed to be moving forward. And the bad part about Buffalo is I think they outplayed the talent that they have on that team in the first couple of weeks during the season and got a lot of hopes up. And now it's evening out and you're looking at it and going, wow, they really fell apart. But we were talking about them falling apart right from the beginning because of all the moves that they made prior to the season, in the off season. So I know it sucks that you're sitting there going, wow, we took all these steps back. But quite frankly, you wound up back at square one where most people thought the Buffalo Bills were going to be to begin with.
Well, thanks again, Hobbs, for joining in.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling, Hobbs.
Easy.
Thanks, Hobbs.
Most dedicated fan out there.
Oh no,
well, I guess
sure.
Sorry, what was that, Tim?
For sure. Listen, and that's the whole thing about. That's what I love. I love the fans. Listen, it's like all 3 of us right here. I'm so great with the Giants. He's a dedicated Giant fan. Frogman, I mean, shit. You're an Eagles fan. We all know the deal, and you're still an Eagles fan. Myself, a Dallas Cowboys fan. Thing is that we love fans who are dedicated to their team through thick and thin, not the ones who jump from team to team. Like, you know what? To be honest with you, it's like the Raiders fan of 2MW. But I really do wonder, if this was before Derek Carr came on the scene, were they Raiders fans? hype level of the black and silver. Well, I'm not questioning you, Tommy. I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying.
Me personally, I don't care what your fandom is. If you jump ship, if you know,
it's disgusting.
This day.
It really is disgusting. The Buffalo Bills could be the Buffalo Bills right now could be the best team next season. All of a sudden, you know what? I'm a Bills fan because my grandfather. I'm gonna support them. See, when you hear that word support, that means you're on your way to becoming a fan.
Yeah, I see it. I will judge your character if you act like you are a lifetime or a what was that word? A consistent supporter when you jump ship all the time. That's when I judge your character. I don't mind that, you know what, tomorrow, hey, I'm with this team. Tomorrow you with this team. You are a loyal supporter. When last week you was a Giants and this week you're now a Cowboy. Shut up. I'm judging. I am judging.
Son.
If you just win, hey brother, that's how
I don't
win.
I watch friends whose husbands don't watch sports in my house. I'm not gonna come in here talking. Watch sports? Oh no, sir. I just man.
Oh, that's a whole different argument, Tim.
Poppers? We're talking about 90210 stuff. Come on, stop it.
That's a whole argument.
Dedicated to your team.
Oh, I don't know what that have to do with dedication to teams, but that being said, going in, we had a great show. Tune us in again next week, and we out. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Fogman. That's the show.
Later, folks.